Hey everyone. Hey, Pastor Alfred Johnson coming to you again today. What a beautiful day. What a beautiful day to be able to talk with you. Very happy. Here with Fama. Good things are taking place. Lives are being changed. I am very happy. Today I'm wanting to talk to you just a little bit about leadership, some of the functions of leadership and some perspective into developing other leaders and things of that sort. And the time that we're living in right now, again, God is raising up a group of leaders who are going to be willing to work against the accepted modes of leadership. That is, they're going to go against the status quo of what leadership means. And the leadership that I'm talking about is going to be very important for the body of Christ to embrace. Right now, we do understand the importance of grooming leadership. Most churches have discipleship classes and things of that sort. My concern with that, however, is it's hard to raise up strong leaders within the confines of four walls of a church. I argue that you can't disciple from within the church. You can't have discipleship classes in the church and expect to raise up leaders. And of course, the goal of leadership is to raise up other leaders, not to raise up other followers. The goal of leadership is to raise leaders up, people who are willing to be on the avant-garde of the kingdom, who are ready to be in the forefront of things as they serve folks and love folks. But there's a methodology to it that God introduced to us of how things are to be done. In Genesis chapter 1, and near the end of the chapter, he speaks to the human race. That is, he speaks to Adam, and he gives a mandate on how leadership grooming was to take place and what it means to build a leadership team that would change the world. He tells Adam that he needs to be fruitful, he needs to multiply, he needs to replenish the earth and fill it and then subdue it and then have dominion. That first part means that Adam, of course, is to be personally productive. I spoke about some of this before. And then he is to be planting things into the lives of other people. He's be planting his life into their lives. And then they together, they all plant their lives into the lives of others. They promote virtue and good character. They promote patience. They teach patience. They live patience and kindness. They live forgiveness, and they model it to those who they are training. And this way it's passed from person to person, and then the growth becomes organic. It's not inflated. It is actually a building up of the individual and a building up of the body of Christ, beginning with a leader, the leader actually pouring themselves into others, not merely from the pulpit. That is totally insufficient. You can't really pour yourself into other people from the pulpit. They can't see your patience when it's demanded. They can't see your kindness when it is demanded. From the pulpit, you're just speaking. And to be frank with you, that's just not difficult to do. Okay? And so what needs to happen is we got to get ready to pour our lives into others. And they need to see our patience on display, kindness on display. They need to see us full of joy, even when everything around us is going haywire. They got to see us established like this. This is how you groom leaders that have that same kind of quality, that are ready to deal with the environment, and they're able to do it in a very cool and collected fashion. So we find in the book of Genesis that he tells us to grow like that, grow from the individual to the next, and then you continue to multiply in that fashion. That is the proper building within the body of Christ. In our time, we actually think that if we're speaking to a crowd of 25,000, let's imagine I got saved this year, and then next year I'm speaking to 10,000. After that I'm speaking 20. We actually believe that to be a major graduation in the kingdom, and it's very unfortunate, because I can tell you right now, that kind of house is that's not an enduring house. That would be the same as me taking a generator, putting a blower into it, and blowing up one of those bouncy houses. Yes, it's still called a house, I suppose, but that is not a permanent dwelling. That is an inflated dwelling, and it's not going to last if there were a storm or anything like that. In order to build a proper house, it must be done little by little from the foundation up, and everything needs to be substantially passed. That kind of leadership, that's not what I desire personally. What I desire is the touching of another individual, the grooming of another individual by your modeling. That is, by your example. Yes, you do speak into their lives, but it's the modeling, it's the example that matters the most. They need to watch you How do you handle temptations? They need to watch you do it. They need to see it demonstrated and modeled, and not just spoken from the pulpit. The pulpit provides no context for example. It really doesn't. I'm challenging pastors and leaders from all over the place. Be more action based in terms of your discipleship, not so much word based. That's a very weak position to come from in terms of discipling. We have to get ready to go personal, and then spread it like that. That's the only way that the house of God and this great army will be built substantially. Not some inflated blow house with an air blower that blows up a moonwalk kind of house where anything can come and blow it over. But no, something very substantial. Get to know your members, get to know those that are around you, share your life with them, share your testimony, humble yourself, share your failures as well as your successes. Believe me, it helps people when you share your failures. And do it. Don't be afraid. This is how you make balanced men and balanced women that are ready to take on the challenges of our time, and they're ready to help multiply good character and goodwill with their fellow man. Hey, listen, I love you very much. There's so much more to you than you know, so much that God is wanting to bring out. Get ready to deal with God on a very humble basis, a very lowly basis. Let him go ahead and work in you what he desires to work. Don't be afraid of the changes. Don't be afraid of the pain. When all is said and done, a new you emerges that's going to leave a great mark on this world. God bless you. I love you. Pastor Alfred, I'll be seeing you next time, all right? God bless you now.